Hi, and welcome back to Focal Point AFR Talk. Got one quick item of internal business I got to take care of here. Jeff going to send those segment titles over to you right away. And what we try to do here is get these video segments up on our website just as soon as possible. Got quite a few people that will go to the website who can't watch the program because they're involved at work or have other things that keep them from being able to listen to the program, and they'll access the program as quickly as they can on video. We have it up on our website at afr.net. You can get every video segment. We send tweets out with the links to those video segments as they are posted. You can also get access to the links on the Facebook page, the Focal Point Facebook page. Don't forget, we've got audio and video streaming, afr.net. You can tune in, listen to it on your computer, watch it on your computer at afr.net. That's audio and video streaming live. We also have podcasts. We have apps for the iPhone. We have apps for the iPad. And we have apps for the Android. Absolutely multiple ways to access the content of Focal Point. Now, again, I want to go back to this deal about President Obama bypassing the intelligence community and the opportunity to purchase Bergdahl's freedom with money. And it was President Obama, it was the intelligence community that had arranged for this. Director of National Intelligence James Clapper and then Defense Secretary Leon Panetta were against a transfer back in 2012 when it was first floated. In other words, this idea of transferring the Fab Five for this deserter had been talked about by the Obama administration since 2012, and the top intelligence officials were against it. They were against it from day one. They did not think it was a good idea. These guys were too high a risk to our national security. So it's President Obama all the way along has insisted on doing this, rejected the ransom proposal, which would have gotten him back, but there's no PR benefit to it in there. There's no celebration of the glories of this leadership of this president, liberating American people from bondage by the sheer force of his will and the brilliance of his leadership. He wanted the PR moment, and that's what he thought this prisoner swap was going to do. So this is on President Obama. Even Hillary Clinton, by the way, is now trying to get as far away from this as she can, and she apparently did object to the Muslim, the terrorist for traitor swap. That's really what you have. You got 5 terrorists being swapped for a traitor. She was against it, apparently, and now she's trying to get as far away from this as she possibly can. Other Democrats are trying to get as far away from this thing as they possibly can. You know, so it's interesting. The Taliban has completely sandbagged the Obama administration by releasing this video. I mean, that story, I did not know what kind of shape he was in. I mean, you probably didn't either. It was just a guess. We hadn't seen him. We didn't know. So we had no reason to doubt other than the fact that this is a president who seems chronically incapacitated when it comes to the truth. We had no reason to suspect that his explanation, the reason you're not seeing the Bergdahl, the reason you're not talking to him, the reason you can't interview him, the reason he hasn't been brought back to the States, the reason his family still has not even been able to talk to him. And the explanation has been, he's in such bad health, we got to nurse him back to health. It's going to be months. We're going to stay with him. We're committed to him. We're going to try to get him back on his feet. We'll be involved in that process as long as it takes. And the Taliban, I mean, they've outwitted President Obama at every stage. They got their dream team back on the field. They have humiliated President Obama. They have created a crisis for him that actually could be, could represent the end of the line for him. I mean, I don't think it's going to go there, but I mean, it's amazing the number of people now that are talking about this being an impeachable offense. You got Democratic senators that are jumping ship. Claire McCaskill came out initially in support of the deal, but now she's backing way off of that. More than a dozen Democratic senators, questioned by the Weekly Standard on Tuesday, declined to defend it. Dick Durbin wouldn't defend it. Joe Manchin, West Virginia, it's very disturbing. Bernie Sanders, I better hold off on that. Pat Leahy, all I've heard is what I've read in the press. John Tester, Montana. I don't have enough information at this point in time. Carl Levin. Everything affects the calculus. It's excruciating. And it depends on the facts and circumstances of the case. I'm not going to give you a conclusion. Elizabeth Warren. Kristen Gillibrand of New York would not comment. Richard Blumenthal, Amy Klobuchar of Minnesota, Chris Coons, Delaware, Mark Begich said they are reserving judgment. The only senator that's spoken out in support of this deal is Harry Reid. And the military, by the way, knew that this guy was a deserter. He'd done it before. I'm looking at this story from the Daily Caller. Former Army Sergeant Evan Butow, I'm not sure I say his name, is the latest soldier to come forward saying that U.S. military knew Sergeant Bo Bergdahl was a deserter, this time within just days of his appearance. Butow was with radio and cell phone communication teams when they intercepted messages about an American looking for the Taliban. I heard it straight from the interpreter's lips as he heard it over the radio. There's a lot more to this story than a soldier walking away. Butow went on to suggest that Bergdahl was feeding information to the Taliban. Quote, following his disappearance, IEDs started going off directly under the trucks. They were getting perfect hits every time. Their ambushes were very calculated, very methodical. And ladies and gentlemen, that makes him a traitor. You know, we brought you that story on Monday that the Taliban itself was saying, look, he showed us how to convert a mobile phone to a remote detonating device, and he showed us how to ambush American citizens. And that's what this guy is saying here that served at the time. All of a sudden, their accuracy with these IEDs was amazing. They knew right where the trucks were going to be, right where they were, and the accuracy began to increase exponentially. We overheard radio traffic with them contacting the Taliban. So, you know, this lifts it out of just, this lifts it from the desertion category, which is bad enough, but now he's aiding and abetting the enemy. That is treason, and that in the Constitution is a capital crime. Bottom line here is Bo Bergdahl deserves to die for what he has done. Now, Chuck Hagel is saying, look, in America, you're innocent until proven guilty. We're not going to make our decision until we got all the facts. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's in the court of law. In the court of public opinion, you and I are free to pass judgment on Bo Bergdahl when we've got information. We've got eyewitness testimony after eyewitness testimony that he's a deserter, that he left his post, that he was aiding and abetting the enemy. We have eyewitness testimony, firsthand evidence that this guy's not just a deserter, but also a traitor. And therefore, it's perfectly appropriate for us to come to the conclusion that this is a guy that deserves to die for betraying his country. Well, let's go to the phones, 888-589-8840, 888-589-8840. Let's go to Robin in Hickory, North Carolina. Robin, welcome to Focal Point. What's on your mind?
Hey, Brian.
Hi.
I'm undecided about this whole thing. I kind of thought all along, like, before, that the whole thing was done to distract from the VA debacle.
Uh-huh.
And I don't, and if it is, they're just monumentally stupid. Did they honestly think the American people were going to welcome back a traitor and a deserter? But sometimes I think Obama is so narcissistic, he believes he can do anything, and the American people are just going to love him. And, they even gave Susan Rice deceitful talking points again for the Sunday talk shows. But I wonder, too, if he's just such a Muslim sympathizer, he was looking for any way he could to get these terrorists released. But Jim Garrity at National Review, Kevin brought this out earlier, had a op-ed today where he was saying that Obama seems to have checked out of his own presidency, that he's had more parties and he's done more golfing this year than any of the other years of his administration so far. And I'm wondering if he even had anything to do with the decision. I've never thought he's running the show. I think Valerie Jarrett and other people, radicals around him, are running the show. And I'm wondering if he even had anything to do with it. He's just their little fall guy or their little front man and somebody else decided to do it. But I wouldn't be surprised at all if they were looking for any way to get these Muslims released, because I really believe that all of those people are Muslim sympathizers, and they just wanted a way to help radical Islam bring America to her knees.
Well,
and
Robin, when President Obama is asked, is there a chance these guys are going to wind up back on the battlefield? And he said, absolutely. He said absolutely. We played the soundbite. He said absolutely, like he was happy about that, like he was glad about that. He wasn't stressed over that. he wasn't anxious about that. He wasn't wringing his hands. He said, absolutely, the chances are they could wind up back on the field. And that kind of feeds into the possibility that that's part of the plan. That's part of his goal here, is to get these guys back in action, to continue their work of punishing America, which President Obama seems intent to use the powers of his office to kind of bring this nation to its knees. All right, let's go to Michael in Lima, Ohio. Michael, welcome. What's on your mind?
Yes, well, I have another possible motive for the deserter for terrorist trade, and you just hit on it a little bit. It seems our current president does have a goal to take down this once exceptional country, and he can do that by destroying its major institutions. And this trade must hit at the heart of the military. They must be disillusioned, disappointed. I can't imagine what this is going to do for retention and recruitment of new military personnel. And so this may have been part of his goal to take another chunk out of our once great military. And when you think of how many lives may have been lost capturing these terrorists, and certainly how many lives were lost trying to save that sergeant, it's just inconceivable that he had any other goal other than to destroy the military.
All right, well, Michael, that's it's a sobering observation, but I think it's probably right on the money. I hadn't even thought about the angle of recruitment and retention, but I think increasing numbers of young men who would think about serving their country in uniform are asking themselves the question: is this the kind of commander-in-chief that I want to serve? Am I willing to risk my life to carry out this guy's plans for the United States of America? Focal Point AFL Talk, back after the news.
American Family Radio.